Good morning. It is Thursday. It is the Bubba Show. And what are we going to look at today? Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is we will talk about the jobless claims, is because I do believe they are coming in play now. Again, it doesn't really matter what they are, but it really matters on how the market expects and how it reacts to it. But today, I wanted to talk about the Fed and the Fed easing and how they're going to start to withdraw out of this. Initially, it was tied into the jobs number. And all of a sudden, we're getting a little bit more talk from some of the Fed governors. They're deciding that they really want to look to possibly raise earlier. You're having some more hawkish tone about it, which did create some of the sell-off, if you want to look at it that way. I think the other thing you have to look at is Paul Volcker, an ex-Fed chairman, says that we should be pulling out. I don't think anybody's real impressed with the job that Ben Bernanke did, other than the banking cartel. I think you have Alan Greenspan, who is one of the most well-respected Fed chairmen, who is also being pretty critical here. And I think you're starting to see some pressure on the Fed that they need to start raising early, and I'm from that school as well. I think that it's time that we raise interest rates. I think it's time to start moving. Let's take this, $15,000 out for a spin and see if it can support the market. The Fed can always step back in if it doesn't work. I think you're going to see next week, the 18th, I believe the date is the Fed meeting. And I think that that's going to go a long way towards telling us where we're really going. But I would be more leery that the Fed pulls early than late. And I think you're starting to see that, because I think the luster is off the Fed. And I don't think that they were able to sustain last week. And the other thing that you want to remember is that the Fed has to buy too much, and there's not that much for sale now. They have trouble completing the auction when they're buying the bonds. So it's an issue that has to be dealt with, and I think that eventually free markets eventually start to take over, no matter how big it is. And I think the interest rate market is telling you that it wants to go higher here. So I think that's very important. So let's pay attention. Let's see the reaction. Let's see what's going on. But that is the Fed, and that's how I see it at this point. And I'll talk more about this in depth on my radio show at libertyexpressradio.com. Average Joe Options call every Monday. Would love to see you there. You need any information for me? Todd at averagejoeoptions.com. Have a great day. We'll see you on Friday.